Welcome to the MLB Closing Time Show, Pub Sports Radio. Ian Cameron, Connor Mack. We're here. We're ready to break it down for you. Sunday, May 16th. Sunday, Bloody Sunday has been the moniker for my MLB season so far. I have not turned in a good Sunday, I think, all season long. So I'm due. You could say it that way. I'm like that hitter that's 0 for 24. I'm due for some good results here on a Sunday, finally, in Major League Baseball. I can't figure out why. I think it's because I'm an over better, and a lot of times there's a lot of unders on Sundays, and a lot of guys rested in the lineup. I think that's part of it. I don't know. I find Sundays are trickier because you got some teams that are excited to get to the next series, the next city. Same with the umpires. And I find their strike zone gets expanded on Sundays. It's like they've got a dinner meeting or something. They got to get to the next town. But nevertheless, yeah. Sundays have not been good. It's a disclaimer right off the hop that tread cautiously if you're going to ride everything that I recommend today. I'm hoping for good results. It's not like I changed my process at all Sunday from every other day when I handicap baseball, but it's just fair warning that Sundays have been brutal, at least for me. So we'll see if we can turn it around and put a good Sunday in the win column. Let's start with Yankees, Orioles. We've got Jordan Montgomery, the lefty on the mound for New York. Nobody confirmed yet for Baltimore. Minus 160 were the Yankees as road chalk here, 9 the total. It would probably be a Yankees or pass spot for me, although I don't like laying this price. I don't like taking a team that's looking to sweep the other team, especially when the other team's at home. A lot of times you get that team playing all out to try to avoid the sweep at home. But look, Baltimore's had very little success historically against New York. Montgomery's pitched well in the past. Not only this season is he pitching better, but he's pitched well in the past against Baltimore. Less than 3 ERA in his career against the Orioles. We don't know who's starting for the Orioles, but I can damn sure tell you I won't be on them in this game. It would be Yankees or pass. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, it'd be Yankees for me. I mean, it's not going to be Means today, right? No? Yeah, I didn't think it was.
It's not. It was supposed to be, and now there's been a change. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I don't want the Orioles right now. Yankees are starting to hit. We talked about it the last few days. I was tinkering the day before. They just missed the team total yesterday. They scored a ton of runs. I'd be on Yankees or nothing here. Yankees are passing this one.
All right, San Francisco and Pittsburgh. We've got the Giants minus 160 road favorites, 7.5 the total. Wood is good. I've said that many times about Alex Wood this season, the lefty for the Giants. He's been excellent. And we knew he had ability all these years, but things didn't work out well. He had injury problems. He couldn't stay healthy. And now he is healthy, and he's pitching extremely well in his new home here with San Francisco. I mean, you can't really say anything but that about Alex Wood. A 4-0 record, 1.8 ERA. That's a pristine ERA for him coming into this start. So he's been terrific. Can't say that about Mitch Keller. It's definitely been a rocky start to his season. 7.81 ERA here for Keller and the Pirates. I got out of there with a split and actually turned a profit yesterday with Pittsburgh because I split it first 5 full game. Both were a plus price. So I ended up with a small profit on that game. They lost the first 5 bet, but they came back against that San Francisco beleaguered bullpen, another team that's had bullpen issues. And the Pirates get the 2-run jack from Jacob Stallings in the 9th inning to walk off the Giants. So you got the Giants off a tough loss. I think they come back strong here. They've certainly got the pitching edge. This looks like Giants minus a half a run in the first 5 innings to me in this game. What do you think, C-Mac? Giants, Pirates?
I'm staying away from this one, too. I'd hate to be it. I lean to this. I don't know what I'm getting out of Keller. Like we talked about with Cueto on the first 5. I like to lean that way, but I can't get there with Keller. He's just too erratic. He's up and down. So I'm not going to go that way. Yeah, maybe cut this down with Wood, the Giants' first 5. I can't trust their sticks, even against the Pirates, they lost game 1, only scored a few. I mean, yesterday, they're not a team that scores a ton, so I just can't trust them. But that'd be my lean here, would be the Giants. I just don't love full game, minus 160. If you go full game run line or go first 5, a half a run, cut this juice down. You'll be good there. Oh, I want to talk about real quick is shoot it to Max. Mancini's hit Montgomery pretty well in that Yankee series. He was 7 of 19. I forgot to mention that with a jack.
Yeah, that's definitely true. There's a couple, but he's the one. He's the one with a sample size that you can get behind. You know, these again, when you're looking at past history, don't throw out anything that's like 8 or 9 at bats or less. That's just not enough of a sample size. You need 15 to 20 or close to that, at least minimum. And at least you have 19 at bats with Mancini against Montgomery, and he's 7 for 19 with a home run. So you're right, Mancini bases and maybe even a home run prop. Yeah, I could get behind that. I might even sprinkle on that as well. Philadelphia, Toronto here. Next up, we've got Chase Anderson on the mound for the Phillies. Robbie Ray for the Blue Jays in this one. Toronto minus 185. Home favorites, total 10. And this is another first 5 half a run game for me, laying it with Toronto. Robbie Ray, I think I'm buying Robbie Ray. I've said that a couple of times already. He's been pretty solid overall for the Blue Jays. 3.38 ERA. Look, is Chase Anderson going to do what he did last time out? Look, I'll be the first to admit Chase Anderson. I lost a bet for the first time fading Chase Anderson this season. Was on that over with the Phillies and the Nationals earlier this week, and it was probably his best start of the season. But against this lineup for Toronto, which has been mashing the ball now for a week or so at least, in this little ballpark in Dunedin, I don't think that's a good matchup at all for Chase Anderson. So I'm looking Toronto laying the half a run here, first 5 innings. What do you think, C-Mac?
Yeah, this one's interesting for me. I just seeing the Phillies at this huge price, even though I know Anderson's on the mound, it makes me want to take the Phillies. And it'd probably be full game because I don't want to go first 5, not with Anderson in there. I took the Phillies team total yesterday. They scored no runs. So I don't know if they're going to hit Robbie Ray today.
The Bama lineup. They have these
Very
games
true.
where they just don't hit. They're shut down completely.
Kind
and
of,
mediocre pitchers sometimes do it, like Anthony Kay yesterday.
yes. Yeah, that's what was so shocking. Like today against Robbie Ray, watch, they hit him. So that's why, and there's a few guys, McCutchen, Herrera, a few guys have had success off him. It's kind of like the Blue Jays too. They're a little more consistent lately, but they've kind of an 8-run game or they get shut out. Both teams are hard to trust here. I got to think that one of these games is going to go over. Maybe today on a Sunday. Who knows? I lean that way, and I'll just lean the Phillies. Too big of plus money here at 170 for me.
Yeah, this is the one thing you want to mention here is that Ray is 5.51 ERA in his career against the Phillies. So, that is the one thing you got to step back and say that's a little troubling. But his current form wasn't then what it is now. That's why I think he could still go out there and pitch well. And I didn't like those. I didn't like that approach and those at bats from the Phillies yesterday. Terrible. They made errors in the field as well. Just a pathetic performance, to be honest with you. It's like their heads weren't even in the ball game yesterday. Kind of shocking to see that. LA Angels, Boston Red Sox, Quintana versus Eovaldi here in this matchup. We've got Boston, obviously significant favorites here, minus 150. The total 9.5. Man, my best bet. I couldn't get anything out of the Angels against Martin Perez. You got to be kidding me. They couldn't get a thing off him. I get everything I thought out of Boston. Yep. I thought they could hit him. Actually, some of those Angels had good numbers against Perez, and they still couldn't.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the last time I trust the Angels against a lefty because it's looking like even a bad lefty or a mediocre one can't hit. So, to lose that by a half a run, I got 9 out of Boston. I couldn't even get one bloody run out of the Angels, and the over 9.5 falls a half run short. Brutal. But we did get Xander Bogaerts. We got his total bases, and we got his home run prop as well in that case. So it made up, cushioned the blow for the over not getting there. But today I would still look over a little bit. I lean that way. Quintana's hittable. I mean, Quintana's 9.00 ERA. Not good at all. You look at the track record of some of these Red Sox against him. You've got Bogaerts. Again, I think you go right back to the Bogaerts well. 6 for 14, 429 against Quintana. JD Martinez, 9 for 30 and 300 against Quintana. So there you go, right there, Bogaerts and Martinez. You look at those two total bases and home run props potentially today. But boy, Eovaldi's good. But look at Mike Trout, 6 for 15, 400 against Eovaldi. Anthony Rendon, 300 average, 8 for 27 against him. Juan Lagares, 5 for 8, 625 average against Nate Eovaldi. Nate Eovaldi's been solid, but the Angels have rocked several of these Angels hitters have rocked him in the past. So maybe the over that didn't get there yesterday can today. Again, be careful at Sundays Sometimes you get lower scoring baseball, but I don't see lower scoring baseball with these two pitchers today. So I would look over. What do you think, C-Mac?
I lean over too. God, will it get there though? You're right. The Angels, I think after getting a goose egg, I always kind of like a team. I got to think they get 3 runs, at least a decent lineup like the Angels. But I'm going right back. I lean over in this game, 9.5. I just don't love the pitchers. I can't do anything with the first 5. Eovaldi's been okay, 4-2, 4.2 ERA. That's probably what he's going to be in this American League in the division. That ERA is probably decent all year, around 4 for him. I'm going to go Red Sox line. Quintana's not good. I just can't trust him. I know he kind of pitched decent against the Dodgers. The Dodgers were stinking horrible and can't hit lefties at times. So yeah, lean over 9.5. You went through all the guys already, the props, and I'm going to go Red Sox run line at plus 125. I want that Angels bullpen too. I want full game, not just first 5 with Quintana.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that for sure. Cubs and Tigers. We've got Hendricks and Boyd on the mound here in this matchup. Brutal loss for the Cubs yesterday. I mean, they had that game sewn up and they blow it late. And all of a sudden, they're a shocking 9-8 loss in that game for the Cubs. Can they bounce back today with Hendricks minus 135 on the road, 8 the total here in this game? You know, sometimes you could look at it 2 ways. You could look at it and say, you know what? It was a brutal loss and you're chomping at the bit to want to bounce back strong today. You could also look at it and say you're demoralized. I mean, they had that game wrapped up. They had a sizable lead and the Cubs do Cubs things and can't hold it. I think it could be a demoralizing factor. And you don't have a guy that's got any sort of confidence taking the mound for you today in this game in Kyle Hendricks to stop the bleeding. 6.23 ERA. He has been very, very disappointing this season for the Chicago Cubs. On the flip side, Matt Boyd has just continued to mow along at a 1.94 ERA. He is a lefty. The Cubs sometimes hit lefties better, but even the Cubs aren't hitting lefties right now. Like the last 7 to 10 days, you look at their numbers against lefties, they're not quite what they are for the full season. So I think Boyd's got an edge here. The price is certainly more than appealing in my mind. This is a Tiger first 5 full game for me. Not at this price with the Cubs. Certainly not with Kyle Hendricks and his current form, which is dismal at this point in time. C-Mac, what do you think here? Cubs, Tigers.
Yeah, Hendricks on the road. I just don't love it. He's been so up and down this year. In an ERA, a 6. I don't think he's going to be very good the rest of the way. I think he's going to have a good start, give a quality start, and then he'll get hit. And Matt Boyd's been decent. He should have a little maybe better record than 2-3 with that ERA. I think Tigers as well. First 5 here. I take them. I'm kind of leaning the first 5 under 4. I wish it was a 4.5. I'd like it a little bit better. But yeah, give me the Tigers first 5 and the first 5 under 4 here.
All right. Yeah, Tigers first 5 full game. I definitely like that. I'll be on that for sure. Next up, we got the Mets and the Rays. Stroman against Fleming. Your matchup here. Fleming's going to be an opener. This is what Kevin Cash usually does. We've got even money, both sides here, 7.5 the total in this game. Stroman is pitching extremely well, and he's the guy you want on the mound when you're trying to avoid a sweep. He's got that bulldog mentality. This is the situations he eats up and thrives in. He's an emotional guy, but he's trying to help his team avoid a sweep, losing the first 2 to the Rays in this series. I think he's got a good chance. I like the spot definitely for the Mets. It's a good Mets spot with, a guy that's got a 1.99 ERA this season. I would only look to the Mets. I think I probably will. So a small first 5 full game look on the Mets. And look, Fleming's a lefty. The Mets do fare better against the lefty side. Their batting average this season against lefties is 10 points higher. Their runs per game is nearly a full run more per game against lefties this season. Again, we don't know how many innings Fleming's going to go, but he will start the game. So I think it's an advantage a little bit for the Mets and trying to avoid a sweep with a guy that's pitched well this season, in my opinion. Stroman has faced the Rays a lot. If you go back to, obviously, his time with the Blue Jays, of course, before the Mets, he hasn't been awesome against them, 4.35 ERA. But I think this is a good Mets spot, trying to avoid a sweep. He's in good form this year. I think the Mets can get it done. I don't love it, but I do like them enough in this spot to bet it. Mets first 5 full game. Conor, what do you think? New York, Tampa?
Yeah, I think you might be onto something. I'm staying away from the side on this game. I think both here, minus 108, 102, either side. If you think the Mets, are going to bring it, I think they'd be a solid bet. Maybe even them run line, first 5.5 run. I'm going to the first 5 under 4. It got me yesterday. There was runs, but with Stroman on the mound, Fleming's done well. I know, like you just said, the Mets are 10 points higher hitting lefties, but Rays games to me, if they stay in it and have a chance, they strike out and don't hit. So give me the first 5 under 4, minus 105 here.
Yeah, the numbers point to Robbie Ray over 7.5 strikeouts. Christopher in our chat, I wouldn't talk you out of that. The Phillies were striking out left and right against Anthony Kay yesterday, and he doesn't have a tenth of the quality of stuff that Robbie Ray does, who can light up the radar gun, who can get swing and miss ability. And as long as he's not walking guys and missing the strike zone and losing his control and command, Robbie Ray is he's got filthy pitching arsenal, and that could be trouble for you, right? That free swinging Phillies lineup in that game. Kansas City and the White Sox, Brady Singer and Dylan on the mound here. The White Sox minus 155, minus 160 home favorites, total 8.5. Look, we didn't expect the White Sox to win every single game and go over the team total every single time against a lefty starter for the rest of eternity. I understand that, but still, it's a little bit it's always still a little bit shocking and jarring when you see it happen like it did yesterday.
Yeah.
The White
Mike
Sox
Minor
finally actually got shut down. And Mike Minor of all people, shutting down this White Sox team that had been mashing lefties. And look, they're a little bit banged up too. I mean, Jose Abreu, obviously, actually is going to be in there today, which is surprising, but it looks like he's good enough to be in the lineup. Actually, it looks like their lineup's pretty much intact today. They've already confirmed it. Anderson, Eaton, Moncada, Abreu, Yermin, Mercedes, Grandal, Vaughn, Lurie Garcia, Madrigal. So that's pretty much their A lineup right there today against Kansas City. So that's good news for the White Sox. It's a bounce back spot for them with Dylan Cease on the mound, who has a 2.8 ERA, who's been pretty solid this season overall for the White Sox. Brady Singer, a lot of people with high expectations for him. He's been a little bit up and down, but you definitely see the potential in this kid. He's got solid stuff. He got squeezed in that one game by Angel Hernandez. What else is new in a couple of starts ago where he got upset? Everybody gets upset with that guy. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But definitely Brady Singer is one of those guys that, look, he's definitely a guy that's got some upside in my mind. And when you look at Cease, 3.81 ERA and 5 career starts for him against the Royals. Singer has not solved the White Sox, though. 6.75 ERA for Brady Singer in his brief career against the White Sox. So I like Singer long term. I think there's going to be spots, and I think as the season goes on, he'll get better and he'll become a bet-on guy. But against this lineup, off a loss, and his track record's been spotty against the White Sox, I don't think today is that day. I'm not going to probably get involved in this game. Connor, what do you think? Royals, White Sox?
I don't think I'm going to get involved either. I'd lean White Sox to bounce back. But maybe the Royals are starting to get going. They lost a few for me on that bad losing streak, and I want to see some more out of them before I start jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, you're getting them at plus 150 at a price. So you might want to go, yeah, Chris. But I have to tell you, all last year and this year, I took a lot of money those days. So they finally got me. So, yeah, the books collected a lot. But I was getting them every lefty for the last 2 years. In this one, Cease. I still like him. Just too big a price. It'd be White Sox or nothing. I'd lay it on the run line. Anderson would be my player prop here. He's 4 for 6 off Singer. Stick with him. He's been hitting. And Max mentioned it. Benintendi's been getting hot for the Royals. Maybe him with a player prop, total bases.
Yeah, I initially was leaning White Sox. I said, I might bet the White Sox here. Singer has struggled against them. He'll be good in time, but he's had a tough history against the White Sox. But at the same point in time, I said, you know what? The Royals finally won a game yesterday, and they won it decisively after an 11-game losing streak. And I don't always like betting against teams after they snap a long losing streak. Sometimes they get a little momentum and rhythm, and it carries over. So we'll see. That's why I stayed off this game. But interesting to see how it plays out. We've got because they are better than their current record. Like they're better than a team that's gone on an 11-game losing streak. The Royals, I do believe that.
I think they are a little bit. Yeah.
I agree, especially that lineup. They'll get hitting, no doubt. When you got Merrifield, Santana, Benintendi, Perez, Soler, guys like that. you should be able to hit it. Atlanta, Milwaukee, Oscar Yanoa, Freddie Peralta is your pitching matchup in this one. We've got Milwaukee minus 115 to minus 120 home favorites, total 7 across the board. Well, the Braves needed something good to happen. I mean, that Blue Jays series was a monstrosity for them earlier this week. Terrible series for them. And they've bounced back with 2 straight wins here against Milwaukee. Milwaukee can't hit a lick. And that could be trouble against Oscar Yanoa here, who's been pretty solid. 2.23 ERA. He's looking for his 5th straight win on the season. He's pitched extremely well. Nobody's seen him from this Milwaukee team. Lorenzo Cain has 1 at-bat against Yanoa. That's it. So this should be an advantage for him in this game. On the flip side, Freddie Peralta for the Milwaukee Brewers on the mound here in this one. Not good numbers against the Braves. 6.97 ERA against the Braves in the past. However, his last appearance against them came 3 years ago. And how many, was it Ronald Acuna even with the Braves at that time? I'm not even sure he was. So how much of a fact, like it's not exactly like he was facing this group of Atlanta hitters right now. So you have to keep that in mind. Peralta, started off the season extremely strong. And look, he's trying to get back to that. He's kind of been a little bit more up and down of late. But look, Peralta is still for the season. Teams are just batting 142 against him. That's the opponent batting average against Peralta. So he's pitched extremely well. This has a first 5 under feel written all over it. I mean, Milwaukee's trying to avoid the home sweep. I usually like that kind of spot, but I'm not taking Milwaukee because they can't hit, and I don't trust them to hit against Yanoa. So I think first 5 under is probably the stance I like the most here in this game. What do you think, C-Mac?
Yeah, the interesting one could go a few ways here. I just can't lay minus 120 with the Brewers, even with Peralta on the mound. That lineup's just not hitting. I'd be on the Braves here with Yanoa, who's pitched really good. He even hit a home run a couple starts ago. Got a little jack in his bat when he's got to swing it. I'd lean the first 5 under. It is 3.5. It's minus 115. That's right what I went to here early. And I'd stick with the Braves plus money, like I said. I just don't know if I'm going to get there. Their team total is plus 108, over 3.5. Can they get over 3.5 against these Brewers? That might be a look too if you don't want to take the Braves to win the game.
All right, we got Oakland and Minnesota next up. Bassett and Maeda, Minnesota in the minus 115 to minus 120 home favorites here in this game. The total currently 8.5 in this matchup. The Minnesota Twins, definitely they're up there. It's one of the great disappointments so far in this season. It's been a terrible run for them. However, maybe something that they can hang their hat on. Coming back, they look like destined for another loss yesterday, but they roar back late and win 5-4. Look, Oakland is springing some leaks in that bullpen. I mean, that bullpen's been great for years, but it's not been that same Oakland bullpen this year, and Minnesota came back on it yesterday for the win. Final game of a long road trip for Oakland. Minnesota gets a big confidence-building win. I love the situation for maybe a Minnesota bet here, but I can't do it with Maeda. Like last time, I thought he was turning a corner. 2 starts ago, he had one of his best starts. So what happened his last time out? Right back into the tank, with a really poor start against the Chicago White Sox. Now, White Sox are a very potent lineup, but still, it's been very, very difficult to trust Maeda. Hasn't been able to get his game back. 5.08 ERA. He got absolutely crushed by the Oakland Athletics earlier this season. 7 runs allowed in just 3 innings, and that was that wild and crazy 13-12 game that these two teams played earlier this season. So, yeah, I like that the Twins got a little momentum and came back, and I don't love Bassett on the road at all, but he does actually have good numbers against Minnesota and at Target Field. So I'm back and forth. I'm passing the game. Slightest of leans to the over because of the fact I don't trust Bassett as much on the road, and I think Maeda just continues to give up some runs here. That's the problem. So I would lean. And look, the bullpens are a little bit sketchy too coming into today. They both had to work yesterday, and Oakland's didn't get the job done. It got to 9. This total 8.5. Yeah, over is probably the way I would go if I bet it. What do you think, C-Mac? Twins, A's.
Another one I think I'm going to pass. Another game that after a day like yesterday where I got my ass kicked, You could go either way, and I don't want to lay Twins with the big win, but I don't want to lay -120 with Maeda. Bassett's pitched well. We'll see what he can do today. Maybe a strikeout prop with him. I mean, he's got 53 strikeouts on the year. I think he had 10 his last time out. Maybe his Ks. I don't see it up on the board yet, unless maybe somebody does at another book. Maybe his strikeout prop in this one. Nothing great on the team total, both over 3.5, -130, -120. I'd be the A's plus money. I just think they're right now still a little bit better team, but I can't take it. Not after Twins win. Maybe Maeda gets back on track. And then you mentioned he gave up 7 runs against these A's. It's hard to back them taking him -120 almost after, him giving up 7 runs just a month ago to this A's team.
Yeah, I agree with that. Texas, Houston. We've got Gibson and McCullers. Houston -200. Home favorites, 8 the total in this one. Kyle Gibson for Texas has been actually one of the surprises for them this season, and how he has pitched for this Texas Rangers team. We know Kyle Gibson's just been a run-of-the-mill pitcher in Major League Baseball, so to see him with a 2.28 ERA this season, 5-3 Texas in his 8 starts, pretty impressive. He deserved a better fate last time out. Texas lost the game to San Francisco 3-1, but he only gave up 1 run in 6 innings of work. He's given up 3 runs or less now, Kyle Gibson, in 7 straight starts coming into this outing. So he's just been remarkably consistent here for Texas. And he's actually, if you look at Gibson, he faced the Astros twice last year, and Texas won 1-0 and 6-1 against Houston with Kyle Gibson on the mound. And he didn't give up an earned run in 15 innings in those 2 starts against the Astros. So McCullers, on the other hand, you've got him. He's pitched great last time out. 1 run in 8 innings. Very, very good. And in fact, he's given up 3 runs or less in 4 straight starts. And he actually opposed, believe it or not, this is crazy. Yes, it is. It's true. He opposed Kyle Gibson in both of those games last year when Texas played Houston, and he was on the losing end of them. He pitched well. He only gave up a run, but Kyle Gibson didn't give up anything. And Texas won both games with Gibson, and it was Gibson versus McCullers, both of those games. I think Texas live dog here. I know Houston's playing well, but give Gibson a shot here. First 5 in full game is what I would do. That's what I'm looking at here. I mean, Gibson's just kept his team in every single game. Gibson's been very good against the Astros in the past, and even McCullers shut him down. Maybe a first 5 under. I'm sorry I'm going against what you're thinking, David, with the first 5 team total over. But I know you're banking on regression. You've said it actually a couple of shows, David, that you think Gibson's going to regress at some point, and he very well might. But I think this is a time at this price you could do a lot worse betting decisions in my mind than taking a shot here with Texas first 5 in full game. Even though Houston's red hot, I get it, but this could be the shot here with Texas. Conor, what do you think here? Astros, Rangers.
Yeah, the Astros are red hot. I know I looked at that. That's first 5 under 4. For some reason, I don't love it. McCullers has kind of dominate. Other than Chris Davis, who I really like, he's 7 for 21 with a couple homers. He's shut down these Rangers. Gibson's done all right. Bregman and Altuve have hit him pretty well. Just a tough one. I'm going to stay off. Astros have been hot. But I wouldn't mind a first 5 with the Rangers here with Gibson. He's looked pretty good. It's just Astros running hot at home. I don't want any part of it, so I'm going to stay away. And I think, like you mentioned it, David, if you could go over, I could see a first 5 under, as those games kind of did last year. You mentioned, especially that 1-0 game. But I'm just going to stay away.
All right, Cincinnati, Colorado at Coors. We've got Hoffman and Senzatella here on the mound. The Reds a slight road favorite here, 11.5 the total. You got to be kidding me if you think I'm taking Jeff Hoffman in Coors Field. And he's pitched here a lot because he used to pitch for Colorado, and he never pitched good here, Jeff Hoffman. So forget it. Not going to do it. And he's trending in the wrong direction. This is the Jeff Hoffman we all know and love, people. 8.71 ERA in his last 3 starts. He's given up 8 runs on average in 3.1 innings. Terrible stuff. Antonio Senzatella, not much better. 5.97 ERA, 5.27 ERA at home. He has struggled. He has labored as well. You go to the history with these lineups against these 2 pitchers. Castellanos has hammered Senzatella. Moustakas and Farmer have good numbers. Winker's got a hit in a small sample size against him. Hoffman's never pitched well at Coors Field. Colorado knows him well. Shouldn't be fooled by anything he throws. This total's high. It's high for a reason. I didn't bet the over yesterday in this series, but I was on the first two, Thursday and Friday, over. I think we come right back to the over here. And again, the bullpens have been a disaster as well in this series for these two teams. So a lot of runs projected in my mind to go over this number. C-Mac, what do you think? Reds, Rockies?
Yeah, I think so too a little bit. I haven't bet any of the overs. And I like seeing that under in yesterday's game. These pitchers haven't been good. I'm not big on Hoffman. He should get hit. As long as the Rockies bring the sticks, I think the Reds will hit today. Senzatella hasn't been good at all. Every once in a while, he can have a decent start, but 1-4 with almost 6 ERA, only 22 strikeouts. He pitched okay his last start against the Padres. Gave up a 2-run jack to Machado. I saw that live. But I'd lean Rockies with the plus money. Don't love it. And I'd lean the over. Full game, 11.5. I think day game, we see some runs there, Coors Field.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, on we go. We've got the Cleveland Indians and Seattle Mariners, Shane Bieber, and we got Robert Duggar on the mound here for the Mariners in this one. Cleveland minus 200, big chalk as you'd expect with Shane Bieber on the mound, and the total 7.5 here in this game. Bieber, of course, has been pretty rock steady this season. He has gotten himself, I think there's been more ducks on the pond, more base runners this year than we've become accustomed to with Bieber this year. I don't think he's been quite as dominant or lights out as last year, but still obviously one of the better pitchers in Major League Baseball. Robert Duggar is taking the spot start here for the Seattle Mariners. They have a 6-man rotation right now. Marco Gonzalez on the IL, so it's just a whirling or musical chairs of back-end starters in this rotation. He's had a nice season out of in relief. 2.25 ERA, but again, very limited sample size. He hasn't been stretched out as a starter until today, so how will he fare in that role for the first time? We'll have to wait and see, but his numbers are decent. 2.25 ERA overall for Duggar in relief appearances this season. Could we get a first 5 under? That was probably the way I would lean, but you're never going to get the bargain with that with Bieber. You're always going to get 3.5. And it's usually going to be shaded to the under. So I lean that way, but I just the Bieber train for strikeouts and unders, it seems like last year was the year to bet those. This year, you're not getting the value. What do you think, Conor, here?
Yeah, he might be right. I still think if he gets to 10 Ks today, Mariners have played well the last few. I can't lay this huge number, not with the Indians, and I don't want them run line or a half a run. Even first 5. I'd only look towards the first 5 under 3.5, and maybe Bieber's K's in this ball game. Nothing else.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right, next up we've got the Miami Marlins and the LA Dodgers, who are feeling it right now. They have finally risen from their slumber the last several days with the Seattle and the Miami series. They have been they've arisen. They've finally got the sleep out of their eyes. We've got the Dodgers here, minus 150, home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. Looks like right now we're going to have, was supposed to be Alex Vesia, the lefty initially, but it looks like we've had a pitching change. It looks like it's going to be a spot start for Jimmy Nelson here for the LA Dodgers is what we're looking at right now. So again, it was with the Brewers for a while. Now with the Dodgers, so it's going to be mostly him for probably they'll try to get 3 to 5 innings out of him and then turn it over to the Dodgers bullpen, which I'll give them some credit. They've been a little bit better lately. Baby steps forward, trying to shore up the problems they've had there. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the big thing yesterday was the Seager injury, forearm injury. Just terrible to see that yesterday in that game against Miami. We'll have to wait and see how they could be severe. Obviously, this is still a very deep lineup. Can survive, a key bat being out. Look, they've survived Bellinger being out all this time. Now they're going to have to probably survive Seager being out for a period of time. You got Pablo Lopez on the mound for the Miami Marlins, 3.07 ERA, 0-3. Things just have not gone right. They just have had trouble finding ways to win for him. He's been decent. I don't think he's been as good as Sandy or has been as good as Trevor Rogers or some of these other Marlins pitchers, but he's still been solid. I'm just not really in a rush at the moment to the Dodgers, when they get in one of these, streaks, you usually don't want to step in front of the streak until it ends. And I'd be reluctant. Like I thought I had better pitchers than Pablo earlier in this series to take a shot with Miami as an underdog, and they didn't get it done. So I'm not going to go back to the well here. Probably a game I'm going to stay off. Connor, how about you? Marlins and Dodgers.
Yeah, I stayed off yesterday. I'm going to go with the Marlins, the first 5 here, plus 125. I don't know if they can win the game. I almost want to go full game with the Dodgers bullpen. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to go. I lean the first 5 under 4. I don't know what we're going to get out of Nelson. The Marlins bats aren't great. The only guy is Adam Duvall. He's 8 for 18 with a homer that I see with something off Nelson here. But other than that, give a shot with the Marlins. I know the Dodgers are hitting. Max Muncy's finally hitting. He's got to hit. If Seager's gone, he's really got to step it up. So, yeah, Max Muncy and Duvall for me on the other side with the Marlins props.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind there. All right, Washington, Arizona, Fetty and Weaver on the mound in this game. We've got Arizona minus 110, pretty much actually even money both sides, 9 the total in this game. There's some injuries starting to mount for the Diamondbacks, so be careful of that with them today. Even though they won yesterday, a couple of key injuries there, so something to keep in mind. Eric Fetty on the mound, Weaver on the mound. Again, 2 guys that I'm not exactly enamored with by any stretch of the imagination. Both of them have ERAs over 5. You look at Weaver against the Nats, pretty rough. I mean, Starlin Castro, 3 for 5, 600. Trey Turner, 5 for 6, 833 against Luke Weaver. Jordy Mercer, 5 for 10, 500. Kyle Schwarber, 4 for 11, 364. I mean, this could be one of those games you pick a few Nats for player props and bases against Luke Weaver. I think the Nationals hit. Nationals have been hitting in this series for the most part. I think it continues here. Eric Fetty, not a big fan, but he has pitched better at times than I thought. However, a couple of Arizona hitters, Josh Van Meter, 2 for 6, that have had some success against him. I was on the over yesterday. I was on Washington too yesterday, so I split. I got Washington wrong, but I got the over right. The roof's going to be open again at Chase Field today, more than likely. Total very reasonable of 9. Neither bullpen is very good. Arizona's is downright terrible. So I think we get runs here. Again, with Sunday, be careful. Sometimes you don't get the higher scoring games you do other days of the week in terms of Sunday. But I think this could be high scoring today, Washington, Arizona. Connor, what's your take?
Yeah, it could be a weird Sunday day game, but I'm with you. I don't love Fetty. Weaver's up and down. At times he pitches well, and other times he just gets rocked. I don't know what you're going to get out of him. If you like a team better than the other, both team totals over 4.5 are right around plus 100. The Nats are minus 105. I think Steelers just take the full game over here, 9. I think it gets there. And you mentioned all the player props already.
Yep.
All these guys. Turner, there's tons of ways to go here today with these guys.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm going to add Washington too as an official play. Washington and a first 5 full game split is what I'm going to. Actually, I should probably just go full game because Arizona, their bullpen is taxed. It's not very good. I probably will go more on the full game than the first 5. Usually I go more on the other way around, but I want that Washington bullpen on my side because they are better than Arizona in terms of their pen. So I'll split it up first 5 and full game with Washington here, but I'll probably have a little bit more money on the full game with the Nats in this one. All right, final game, Sunday Night Baseball, ESPN, St. Louis and San Diego. Kwang Hyun Kim on the mound for the Cardinals. Ryan Weathers on the mound, it looks like, for San Diego. We've got San Diego down to minus 120. Home favorites here in this game. The total 7 across the board in this one. We got there with the over. I think both of us liked it. I know I did. I think Conor did as well. St. Louis, San Diego over. In fact, both games in this series have gone over the total. Adam Wainwright on the road. We talked about it. No good. And that's exactly what we saw yesterday out of him in that 13-3 shellacking by the Padres over the St. Louis Cardinals. Look, Kwang Hyun Kim, he's pitched well lately. For this Cardinals team, 1.88 ERA in his last 3 starts. Cardinals are 3-0 in those games. Very, very good numbers as of late for Kim. You look at this Padres lineup. They're not hitting against lefties like they have in the past. 214 average, 3.7 runs per game. And Kwang Hyun Kim's rolling right now. And you got a team trying to avoid a sweep here. I understand why the money's come in on St. Louis. First 5 in full game split here with the Cardinals. It's definitely appealing and interesting, and I'm interested in that. Look, Ryan Weathers I like, but for me, there's still some question marks with him long term. He still hasn't eaten up a lot of innings. You are going to see quite a bit of this pen probably for San Diego. I mean, Ryan Weathers is just not pitched deep into games. I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, 3.2, 5.2, 1 inning in one of his starts. I mean, he's just not giving you much innings. You're going to see a lot of bullpen for San Diego, and I like some of their back-end relievers. I don't love their middle relief by any stretch of the imagination. So I think that's a winnable game here for the St. Louis Cardinals today. First 5 in full game split for me, St. Louis at a plus price to avoid the sweep. And I like the spot too. Teams avoiding a sweep. I'm always interested, especially at the end of a road trip. What do you think here, Conor? St. Louis, San Diego.
Yeah, I'm interested too. I don't know if I'm going to split it up. First 5 full game. I might just go full game. I like it. I liked them game 1. I thought they could have won that game. They didn't. I stayed off yesterday, just went with the over. I'm going to go back with the Cardinals here. Kim's pitched unreal. We'll see if that kind of regression with him comes back here in a little bit. Weathers has been really good, but he's off. He was on the IL and been out. So maybe this is the time he comes back. He gets, he's not so sharp. And you got him laying minus 125, 130. No way. I don't want to do it. So give me the Cardinals and Kim here at a plus 115 full game.
Going back to September 19th last year, 2020, the St. Louis Cardinals with Kwang Hyun Kim on the mound are on a 7-0 streak. They've won 7 straight Kwang Hyun Kim starts going back to last September. So you got a 7-0 perfect angle on your side if you take St.
phenomenal.
Louis.
Yeah.
Yep. 7 straight wins with Kwang Hyun Kim starting on the mound for St. Louis, dating back to last year, including perfect this season. So, yeah, I'm with you. St. Louis for me. All right, that's great. Great analysis, Conor. A great breakdown of the Sunday card. We'll get to best bets in just a second. But before we do that, as we do at this time of the show each and every day, we'll pause for this message from our great sponsors, Manscaped. Right, Manscaped, check them out. Promo code PubSports, mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports, NHL, NBA playoffs are here, MLB daily, Bitcoin accepted as one of your deposit options. Mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. David Sharp, he's letting everybody know he's not holding back with that St. Louis game. Biggest bet of the year for me, he says in the chat. St. Louis first 5 team total over 1.5, and again minus 110, and again at minus 105. Yeah, they hit lefties 100% right, and Padres haven't hit lefties as well. The 2.4, like I said, that 214 average and 3.7 runs per game against lefties this season. It's nothing to write home about. So good luck with that. I definitely don't disagree with a Cardinal team total. All right, it is best bet time. Conor, what have we got? Best bet today on a Sunday.
Well, I love that one, the Cardinals, but I won't make it my best bet here on the show. I'll give my 2 jacks. I'll take a couple guys who probably have, I don't know what, I have to look up their home run props. I'm taking Adam Duvall, 8 for 18 with a homer off Jimmy Nelson. And I want Chris Davis, 7 for 21 with 2 homers for the Rangers off McCullers. McCullers is going to hang one. He's going to put one out. So 2 guys for my jacks of the day. Yeah.
Handful.
But I'm going to go Mets, Rays. I took it yesterday. There was runs. I think these 2 pitchers on the mound, Fleming, Stroman. Give me the Mets, Rays, first 5 under 4, minus 105.
All right, there you go. A little first 5 under, Fleming and Stroman, Mets, Rays. First 5 under for Conor Mack, his best bet for this Sunday card. Mine is going to be, you know what? I'm going to walk the dog, and I'm walking an ugly dog today. But I just think there's no business for Kyle Hendricks being in the price range he's in here. He's in bad form. Boyd's just been mowing along. Give me the Detroit Tigers and give me the first 5 with the Detroit Tigers there at around plus 115 against the Chicago Cubs. Detroit Tigers, first 5 innings, plus 115. Boyd's just a flat out better pitcher right now. If you look at all the numbers, all the current form this season, Boyd's got it. And look, the Tigers are scrappy. Tigers are actually playing decent ball right now, and the Cubs find ways to lose. Let's go Detroit. Plus, and I'll make Big Show happy as well, saying that. Detroit, plus 115, first 5 innings. That'll be my best bet against the Cubs for my Sunday closing time MLB best bet. That'll wrap up this edition of the closing time show. Yes, I also do like the Blue Jays first 5. Laying the half around Chris Brady. Jays. I like the Jays first 5 with Robbie Ray. Great stuff, guys. Everyone, we appreciate it. We love doing the shows. Like I say, everybody takes the weekends off in the sports betting video realm. Not us. We're doing shows 7 days a week here for the MLB Closing Time Show. We'll be back with you tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Connor, myself, and Ski Profit ready to break down the baseball card again tomorrow. And plus, we'll have the NBA show tomorrow, and we'll finally be talking playoff games and games that matter. Play-in tournament. We'll break it down tomorrow on the NBA Closing Time Show. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll talk to you again tomorrow on Monday for another edition of the not the Ice Guys. That's coming up. Closing time. MLB.
Closing time.
Coming up. We're back tomorrow at noon Eastern. Check us out. MLB Closing Time Show tomorrow right here on Pub Sports Radio.